Hey guys, I was watching this video about this fire in Calimesa, and there's a growing concern about people saying that I'm going to turn their responses down a little bit here. And there's a growing concern about people said that, he shouldn't have dumped the load there. And let's kind of discuss this a little bit, and I want to see what you guys have to say. But I don't know, so there's this video out there that says, he shouldn't have dumped the load and all this stuff, and the houses wouldn't have burned down. Well, first of all, hindsight, how do you know that that wouldn't happen? Some people say, well, it was contained in the truck. Well, let's say the truck catches fire. Probably that would have happened if it would have left a load in there. The truck was already on fire. And how quickly would it spread to the fuel tanks, and what kind of fuel possibly was it running on? A lot of these trash trucks are running on CNG, compressed natural gas. And compressed natural gas, I don't know, I don't really, I'm no expert on that. Maybe some of you are. And let's see what you have to say. But in my opinion, I think that it might have exploded. I mean, you don't know. You're driving the truck. Let's say you're the guy driving the truck. The company policy is to dump the load, try to dump it in a safe place. In a windy day, where is a safe place? So, could he dump it in the middle of the road? Let's say he dumped it in the middle of the road. So would it still have blown over there? Probably. And then you have the risk of another accident from somebody else not seeing it, or not seeing the truck there, or people just aren't paying attention or not ready to see that kind of thing. And the other thing, let's say it was running on diesel, and the question is, would it be safe for it to run on, if it was running the truck was running on diesel. Let's say the truck got fully engulfed in flames before they got there. Would the field have still ignited? And those are all the questions that you need to ask yourself. The other thing that happens is, let's say it didn't ignite into the field, or it didn't, they kept it in the truck, and even the tires in the truck burned. Now, I don't know if you've ever been around a burning tire before, but they burn really, really, really hot. Okay, and maybe the fire truck wouldn't have been able to even get that close to it. And could they have even put out the fire on the tires, and would it have still spread to the field? My guess is all of the above. Yes, it still would have spread to the field. Now, the question is, could he have dumped it somewhere else? Could he have, drove up the street and dumped it somewhere else? The question is we don't really know that. And unless you live in that area, and maybe he didn't know where else to dump it. He was just hoping that the fire department could get there on time to put it out and get it out of his truck, which to me, getting it out of the truck was probably safer for everyone than leaving it in it. So, unfortunately, in hindsight, a lot of people lost their homes. A lot of some people died. I don't know how many. And, it's really unfortunate that that happened. But yeah, that's all in hindsight. That's all. We're all looking at it and going, "Oh, well, let's comment on, this without really knowing in hindsight what happened after." But let's just say you're the driver of the truck, you're in that area. What would you do? I mean, comment below, and maybe you just would, I don't know. When you're in a panic situation, do you always think rational? Are you always thinking about the best thing to do? Are you always thinking, in the right frame of mind? Your truck's on fire. You're trying to figure out the best thing to do. And another person has opinion on that. And guy says to him, well, maybe you shouldn't dump it here. Where could you dump it? On an overpass on the freeway? That was his suggestion. Well, all that blowing debris onto the traffic, could that have caused traffic accidents? There's a million other things that you could think about in hindsight. So anyway, it's in a very unfortunate situation. I'm very sorry for the people who lost their homes. I'm very, feel very bad for that. I feel very, very bad for the person who died, but I really can't say. That's why there's going to probably be a court case on this whole thing, and it'll probably go on for years. And unfortunately, the thing about that is usually everybody wants to point the finger at each other instead of just the insurance companies just paying out the claim and figuring out, uh, what to do with that. So, and they're just that's just gonna prolong the agony for people. The insurance companies will, they'll go out and they'll say, oh well, we gotta get the trash cut company to pay, and then to not, so they don't have to pay the bill for the house, and then the trash company is going to go, well, no, it was wasn't our fault because how are we supposed to know what to do? And there's just a that'll just go on for years, and unfortunately, because of that, these people aren't going to have their houses. Now, that's something I think that's what I think about. It's not whose fault it was. We don't really know. There's no way to say, you can have an opinion about that, but you can't really know. Anyway, all right. So let me know what you think. Make a comment below, and let's discuss this down in the comments and see what happens. Maybe somebody will have a great idea. Maybe in hindsight, somebody will know. Maybe the policies will change from people looking at this video. Talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.